Hey everyone, welcome to part 12 of my no armor, no ranged weapons, no deaths, and fist only playthrough of Demon Souls. Here I've gone back to Tunnel City just for a minute and a half to farm for the Iron Knuckles. I kind of made it my thing that at the end of completing each world I would come back here to do one little farming run on the dudes with no weapons right at the start of the tunnels here. It was a waste of time in hindsight. Like I said in previous parts, the drop rate for Iron Knuckles is like 1% or something ridiculously low like that. So I had very little chance of getting them just by coming here for the occasional farm. If you really want to get the Iron Knuckles, you would have to farm these guys probably for hours unless you were lucky or had high luck, the Providential Ring and a Black World Tendency, all of which, well, I only had the Providential Ring, so maybe that boosted my luck rate, my percentage chance up to 2%. I think maybe if I'm lucky, but either way, at the time I had no idea about the drop rate, so yeah, my plan was to maybe get the Iron Knuckles if I was lucky by coming back here in between doing other worlds. Thing is though, I didn't want to farm in this run. I was actually breaking my own rule by coming back here, but it was taking so long to kill bosses with just fists that I thought any extra damage to make it go a little bit faster would be worth it. But in hindsight, the amount of time I spent farming these guys to try and get it, even if it was only a minute and a half run like this is about to be, it all adds up, and in the same amount of time I probably could have killed another boss. But I didn't know any of this at the time, and I kind of thought the Iron Knuckles would drop. I didn't know it was going to be such a ridiculous drop rate. But anyway, that's it for that farm. I didn't want to farm constantly. I just wanted to come back and try my luck for a minute or so. I think that was only like a minute and a half, so not really too much time out of my overall playthrough. So next I wanted to go back to where I just defeated the Adjudicator, which was the start of the ritual path. This leads to the Storm King boss, but there's another boss before him, which is Old Hero. And I thought in both of those cases, those bosses would be fairly easy to beat with fists. Because this isn't a speed run, I talked to this NPC even though he had nothing for me, just as part of my completing as much of the game as possible. I came this way for easy bosses, but on the way there's this Reaper guy who I thought might end up being the hardest enemy in the area. He conjures minions which patrol the area and go after you, so I thought first of all I have to make sure there are no minions near him because I would not be able to take on minions and the Reaper at the same time. So I dropped down here to lure these minions away. I figured the Reaper would probably kill me as I tried to get to him. He could probably one or two shot me with his magic. I wasn't sure, but I knew he would be able to two shot me at minimum with his magic. And his magic is hard to avoid from memory. So I decided what I would do is lure these guys, these minions away from him, and then try to drop down on him from above. My idea was if I could get to him without him being able to throw any magic at me, then I might be able to stun lock him with my fists and prevent him from throwing any magic at all. So I ran up here. I wasn't even sure if this was going to work or if it even led to a point where I could drop down on him. I was fortunate enough to see that trap before it could have shot and hurt me. And then I dropped down here, and unfortunately I dropped a little too far away from him, but I was able to dodge under his first magic blast. And then it turned out I was mostly right about fists stun locking him, not completely because I didn't have enough stamina for that, but for the most part, the strategy worked a charm and his minions couldn't get to me before I could kill him. I was pretty relieved to beat that guy. I thought if anyone's going to derail my playthrough, it was going to be him, and so I was pretty happy how that strategy worked straight up. I was just as nervous coming down here as I was fighting that Grim Reaper guy, really, because these dual sword red-eyed skeletons are a real handful. But having just taken one out before the Adjudicator boss, I was feeling a little more comfortable with being able to take this guy out. And right about now, I was feeling a little less comfortable. Here I was thinking if I kept hitting him from behind, I might be able to stun lock him until he falls off the edge of the cliff. And it might have worked too, except that damn stingray hit me from above. So I'll never know. Well, this guy didn't disappoint. I expected him to be difficult. He was really hard. He killed me a few times in my very first playthrough of Demon's Souls. So yeah, he didn't disappoint me here either. This was not an easy fight. Not with those stingrays above hitting me constantly too.
demons haven't got? You see that pit? It's... Go on. Have a look. There, that's it. That pit just there. Don't hold it against me, eh? Take your time starving to death. Then I'll sell every last trinket off you.
And until this point, until I saw that red phantom over there, I was sure that the Reaper and the Red-Eye Skeleton were the two hardest fights for me to deal with here. I knew there were some more Reapers further on, but I couldn't really remember where they are. I just remembered they weren't out in the open. They were directly along the running path, so I thought if I can stun lock them with fists, it shouldn't be too bad. But as soon as I spotted this red phantom back there, or black phantom, or whatever you call them, I thought, oh boy, this guy might actually be harder than the last two fights. I had no idea how this guy fought, and when I saw he was holding two swords, I remembered, yeah, I think this guy is a real handful. So yeah. Suffice to say, when I went towards him, I was feeling pretty anxious. And it turned out he was actually very easy. So I was pretty thankful for that.
Oh, it's you. Did you cleanse the world of the... God has chosen Umbasa.
I also remember staring at that item on top of those rocks there, and for the life of me, I could not remember how I'd gotten that item in my first playthrough. And yeah, I had no idea. So, I know you have to drop down on it from above, but even now I still don't remember. I'm not even sure I got it in this playthrough. I'll have to wait and see. I really can't remember as I'm narrating this. So as you can see, I'm going through here very, very cautiously because I could not remember where the extra Reapers were, but I knew they were along the path to the next boss. So without any idea where they were, this was kind of nerve-wracking because I knew they could probably one or almost definitely two-shot me with their magic. So yeah, this was very nerve-wracking area.
Man, there aren't many humans like him. I know. Have this as a token of...
And then as soon as I came out and this little slimy dude was there, I remembered, oh no, of course, that's right. What I've done is I've opened up this way toward the boss, and that the Reapers are much further down the path from here. So yeah, I decided to reduce my weight by removing some inventory. And then while I was doing this, I realized I had quite a few souls, probably enough for 2 level ups. So I decided before continuing, since I just opened the shortcut to the next part, I would head back to the Nexus and level up. Then I stopped and I stared and I debated and thought, well, 2 level ups really make that much of a difference. And I thought of just continuing on. But then I talked myself out of it and I thought, yeah, 2 level ups could make a world of difference. I can't really remember what the next boss is like. I knew it was the old hero, which is the blind boss, but I couldn't remember enough specifics about that fight to know how that might play out with fists only. So yeah, I thought I better go and get some level ups from the Nexus.
Oh, hello. I mean, this is where the ancient are bet to seek, but all that's... I've never been so wrong about a dig.
Before the Blight, the king, his knights, and his... I've spent much time in my studies and look at what has become of... I refuse to believe that...
Have you met those fools, and now they've...
It's all a travesty.
I'll excuse the rudeness. You're just lucky it's me. Wow. Heads. Even the... Oh, that's so What's the hurry? Where are you off? You any manners?
Oh, thank goodness.
I was worried sick.
Saints, this rejuvenating sanctum is a fine. I too must contribute how I can.
Thou seekest, then touch the deep soul of the mind, key to life's ether. Soul of the lost, withdrawn from its vessel.
I debated here whether to add vitality, endurance, or strength, and I thought against the blind boss, I'm probably not going to be at risk of taking damage as much as I will need to be able to run away and do damage, so I decided to add endurance and strength. But in hindsight, again, I really should have been adding vitality all the way up to, I don't know, the soft cap for vitality before adding any points to endurance and strength, given the sheer number of close calls that I had in this run.
Art thou finished? May thy strength help thee.
We'll continue on in part 13 where I complete the rest of the ritual path and take on the old hero boss. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next part.